Hi TIs. If you've ever heard of the Mandela effect, it's where the entire world would believe in such incidents, whether it's spelling or such proof of evidence, where in the future it would actually be different, but in the past they were 100% sure it was all correct and the way it should be, but in actual fact it wasn't, because they were not looking carefully enough. And this just shows how delusional the world is, because it even goes through certain spelling mistakes as well, which people have believed for years and years that it was supposed to be or have been this way when it actually wasn't. So it's where the entire world would be incorrect about something, thinking it's right, then in the future, after years in the future, they would discover only that there was something wrong in this spelling or something wrong in a particular story, and why wasn't it seen like that in the past? Or they would think that the past was correct, but somehow it's changed in the future, but the future was never changed. It's just that the past was taken in the wrong way from whatever they saw, whether it was a spelling, a movie, or a particular title. I've seen so many of the Mandela effect examples, but because it's been a long time ago, I forgot. Well, the obvious one is called the Mandela effect because it obviously came from Nelson Mandela, how thousands of people thought he was actually dead. This was at the time he was alive, but he was actually alive for years, which no one knew. And then when he became president, everyone was shocked because they thought he was actually dead in the past. What happened was that the way they viewed him on the TV, as in everyone was in black and there was black cars, so people all over the world got confused and thought it was actually his funeral, when it was just another event. So this misdirection and confusion led to many people thinking he was dead for years. Now, doesn't this show you how delusional the world can be? And remember, this is only one example. And there are many Mandela effect examples if you search online or on YouTube, and you'll be surprised that even yourself as a TI have been mistaken. When the Mandela effect started from the past, there were very few or very rare that were awakened and they knew the complete opposite, like he was not dead, and certain spelling mistakes which were made for years, people already knew back then, but they were classed as mad, or they were just overlooked at or completely ignored, and if they ever discussed it or mentioned it, there would be arguments or fights straight away, and they would be almost like classed as someone who's mental or going crazy. This just shows the same is happening with gangstalking. However, it's not just a few or very rare people who are being gangstalked, it's many being gangstalked now. However, obviously in the beginning it was a very few or very rare that were being gangstalked, but now there are many being gangstalked. Same with the Mandela effect, very few were awakened or knew it back then, but now many people know or are now awakened to the Mandela effect and know the difference between the past and the future and what was supposed to be corrected in the past. So from the Mandela effect and the ones who weren't awakened to it back then, just show how the entire world was delusional, which was most of the world was delusional, and didn't believe in what was supposed to be correct in the past. And that's the same with gangstalking. No one knows it's actually happening, and the people are asleep to it, just like the Mandela effect. No one can see the Mandela effect, and they're asleep to it. Which is, yes, in relation to people who cannot see, gangstalking is like the same Mandela effect that no one can see, and then in time, slowly people will be awakened to it, just like the Mandela effect, where people noticed it and they were labeled as crazy or mental. But when more and more people were awakened to it or understood it, because as the conscious was going higher as a collective, they understood what was supposed to be corrected in the past, would have made the future more, say, awakened. Same with gangstalking. The flaws in the law and the systems and the principles should have been corrected before, so that therefore we could see gangstalking in the future as a crime. That's just in my opinion, and thanks for watching.